Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new episode of At the Buzzer Sports, where we talk all things basketball all the time. I am your host, John Drummond, and I'm not gonna lie, I am a little sick, so we're gonna be doing our film breakdowns probably all week while I get back up to normal health because hasn't been the best weekend for your guy. I don't know if you guys noticed or you guys watch my videos consistently or my consistent subscribers. I've been missing a few days, so we're going to try and push through, for the people who are here from the Hoop Talk podcast. We will be back this Sunday. I just have not felt great at all. So we're going to push through this, no face cam, and we're just going to break down how the Oklahoma City Thunder defended Luka Doncic because I think they did a really good job. I also think there were some times where Kyrie or Clay could have killed them from three. Najee Marshall definitely did. And one thing that I think the main point was to get the ball out of Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving's hands, because when we take a look at the shot chart, which I'm going to show you guys in just a second, they were pretty efficient from the corners in this game. And we're going to take a look at the film. The main thing, because if we take a look, Cason Wallace is going to be guarding Luka Doncic, and Lou Dort is going to be guarding the screener, so Cason Wallace and Lou Dort can blitz Luka Doncic and get the ball out of his hand. And the whole reason when they do that, obviously, somebody's going to be open. But SGA is going to slide over and help off of Kyrie so Luka Doncic can make the forced skip pass. Let's just take a look real fast. Let's just take a look real fast. This is obviously not the clip. That's fantastic. We're starting off great, guys. Okay, so found the clip. Let's take a look right here. If we go back just a little bit, super quickly, and we mute that because I can't be getting copyrighted. 30 seconds into the game, Luka Doncic is going to be bringing the ball up the floor, and Lou Dort is going to be picking him up at the top of the key. So now you have Isaiah Hartenstein, who's preparing to blitz on Luka Doncic, and Lou Dort is obviously a great screen navigator, and he fights through screens all day. So you're going to get the blitz almost perfectly. As soon as that screen happens, they blitz Luka Doncic. Now, you were to think that, okay, you see J-Dub right here. He's going to slide over to stop the roll. Cason Wallace is going to stick to Kyrie. SGA is going to stick to Quentin Grimes. And the thing that I notice here is, we're going to pause it right here. J-Dub kind of stunts at Derek Lively. He doesn't truly commit to protecting the rim here, which is kind of smart in my opinion, because you're forcing Luka Doncic to make a split decision, which is something he's really good at, and he has been very good at throughout his entire career. But you now kind of eliminate two birds with one stone, because now you're preventing the easy roll to the rim, and you also giving yourself leverage to cut back because Luka Doncic is making the furthest pass from him with the ball in his hand. You can argue that Quentin Grimes is just as far, but I think the pass would be much more difficult to Clay than it would be to Quentin Grimes. So once again, they're going to swing it to Clay. He can contest that shot easily. So we're going to go back and watch. And I did a little bit of digging earlier today, or not earlier today. I think this was right after the game ended, or maybe the next day. Luka Doncic's time of possession was a lot lower in this game, and his average seconds with the ball was a lot lower in this game as well against the Oklahoma City Thunder. So you could say that their plan worked. You could say that their plan was effective. Okay, so I have the shot chart right here. If we take a look at Dallas, which is the one that's right here, if I can zoom in, here we go. There we go. Okay, this is Dallas's shot chart right here. So very inefficient at the rim, very inefficient on right corners, and pretty much very inefficient outside of the paint. But if you look at this left corner, they shot 5 for 7. That's not terrible, but 8 for 22 above the break threes, almost awful in the entire mid-range. I mean, they only shot 6 shots in the mid-range, but attempted about 36 attempts from beyond the arc, and then I would say they made about 15 of them. So that's right under 50% somewhat. Yeah. So I think the best thing you can take from this is they kept the ball out of Luka's hands, which is the game plan coming into a game like this, especially as the Oklahoma City Thunder team that has the athletic defenders and the guys that can run all over the floor and make those rotations at a quick manner and close out well and just move their feet extremely well. When you have multiple guys on the perimeter, you're always going to have maybe two or three guys on the perimeter at all times who are really good defensive stoppers. And that's what makes Oklahoma City so dangerous. And once you add that with having Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein on the floor together, how do you score? Because we've saw LeBron James and JJ Redick say nobody blitzes Luka. That's just something they don't do. And the Thunder have made a living off of it, and they succeeded. So that was really interesting to me. Just going to take another look at this clip real fast. Once again, Luka Doncic is bringing the ball up the floor, and Isaiah Hartenstein pretty much knows what's coming. This is something that Dallas loves to run, the spread pick and roll, to where can't help off Clay, can't help off Kyrie, can't help off Quentin. So what are we going to do? Derek Lively is going to set this screen, and now I have all of this floor to operate. But instead, Jalen Williams knows his job. He's going to stunt at the rim to take away the lob to Derek Lively. Isaiah Hartenstein and Lou Dort are going to blitz Luka Doncic to take the ball out of his hands. And this is what I mean about having multiple athletic defenders on the floor. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Fantastic perimeter defenders. Extremely athletic. Extremely strong. Move their feet really well. Are extremely great with their hands. And that's really hard to beat, especially when you have guys like Klay Thompson and Quentin Grimes who are just not the best self-creators. So that may be an issue as well. So once again, they're going to blitz. J-Dub, I think, does a fantastic job. I think he got the flowers on this play. I think he has his flowers on this play. Stunting at the big. I'm sure Luka Doncic knew that was going to happen, so he makes the skip pass. But J-Dub not fully committing to the role gives him the perfect opportunity. If you look at his feet. If we go back just a little bit. Look at his feet. Look at his feet. He's never flat-footed. He's not extremely flat-footed here. Sets his feet. He knows he's going to have to make the recovery. He busts his ass to get to a closeout, and now you have a missed shot. I think Kyrie actually ended up hitting that 3, so it's kind of embarrassing. Don't worry about it. So I did some further digging, and I looked down to the time of possession stats that Luka Doncic has against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Obviously, you can see his time of possession is about 5.8 minutes. Average second per touch is about 4.4 seconds per touch. And then his average dribbles per touch is about 2.98. So, and if we take a look at his average time of possession against every team, which would be his average time of possession per game, we would look and see that he has about 6.5 minutes per game with the ball in his hand. Average second per touch is about 4.69, and his average dribble per touch is about 3.86. So if we look at these stats, and I'm going to zoom in if you guys can't see, if you're watching on a phone or something. I don't think I can zoom in. That's an L on me anyway. OKC, they really carried out their plan, and they really figured out what they could do to keep the ball out of Luka's hands. So here we have it with another clip where it just looks like Luka Doncic is getting swarmed by the OKC defenders. You have Lou Dort, who's still somewhat in the play, Cason Wallace and Isaiah Hartenstein, who's going to be blitzing Luka Doncic. You have Isaiah Joe stuck to Najee Marshall, and you have SGA just protecting the rim. He's full on committed here. So once we get the blitz, which is going to be right here, we're going to pause it here. Luka Doncic is still scanning the field scanning the court as he's about to make the pass. You have Daniel Gafford here who's rolling to the basket, but that's obviously cut off by Shea. You have Lou Dort who's attached to Kyrie Irving, and you have Isaiah Joe who's attached to Najee Marshall. So you're going to obviously have an open Klay Thompson, but I think SGA can make the recovery just fast enough to where he can get there before Klay Thompson can get an open shot off. So we're going to watch. He's going to make the skip pass. SGA kind of notices it a little bit late, and Lou Dort is the one that makes the rotation. And Klay Thompson kind of has a shot here. But since the pass was a little high, it was a little fast, he's not able to just shoot it off the catch. So he has to adjust. He pump fakes. Lou Dort does not go for that, and he makes the stop. So we kind of see this throughout almost the entire game. You know, Dallas was really struggling to get these 3-point shots up, and they just either weren't shooting them. Obviously, they were extremely inefficient from above the break threes, and they carried out their plan perfectly to keep the ball out of Luka Doncic's hands. So I think that was a win for them, and I think that's going to be something that they do heavily in a playoff series if they were to see Dallas. And I still think Dallas is probably the second best team in the Western Conference. I think they're going to have to see each other if either one of these teams want to get to the NBA Finals. So I'm going to be looking forward to a 7-game series throughout both of these teams, because I'm going to show you guys in this next possession, I think there is a way that the Oklahoma City Thunder can be vulnerable with this type of play style. Okay, so in this play, we're going to be seeing Luka Doncic have the ball around the elbow, or set up around the elbow against Lou Dort. He's going to get the ball, and they're going to do a double screen with Kyrie Irving and Daniel Gafford. One thing that Luka does not do in this situation, because we've seen multiple times now that they're going to help off of the far corner, and he's going to have to make the skip pass. They're going to rotate, they're going to recover, and they're going to get a shot up, and it's going to be heavily contested. They just trusted their bigs on the smaller defender, which is something that you can use to kind of get yourself out of these situations. But if you're going to have Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford take the most shots, then I think that's not going to really sustain in a 7-game series. That may win you a game, that may win you 2 games, because Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively can finish around the rim really well. And if you're going up against Shea or J-Dub, which, don't get me wrong, great defenders, I would really trust my bigs to finish there. So we're going to see that Luka Doncic is just going to trust Daniel Gafford, and he's going to get the finish here. But if you're telling me that the main source of offense is going to be dumping it down to Daniel Gafford or Derek Lively against the smaller defender, then OKC is going to win this series, because now guys like Luka Doncic and Kyrie can't be as effective as you would want them to be in a playoff series. I think we saw this in a stretch against the Celtics in the finals, where Daniel Gafford was getting a couple of buckets against Jason Tatum, and we're like, oh, okay, we may have something here. But if you're really using Daniel Gafford taking advantage of smaller defenders in a playoff series, and your best player is Luka Doncic and your second best player is Kyrie Irving, we kind of won that series. So once again, this is something that may work, trusting your bigs more in those role situations when somebody like Shea or maybe a Cason Wallace or maybe Isaiah Joe is sitting down there and Isaiah Hartenstein is really around the perimeter. But once again, when you have your superstars just being taken out of the game, basically, it's going to be really hard to win a series like that. So that's my final thoughts on this game. Don't know if I'm going to be uploading daily this week. Just trying to get back healthy, you know. But if you guys like this type of content, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And we're almost at 1,000 subs. We're at 991 at the time of this recording. So if you're here and you like this type of content, please be sure to subscribe, man. I work really hard on these videos, and I watch a lot of basketball, you know, and I appreciate everybody who has subscribed, liked videos, commented, and just spread love throughout this channel, and I really appreciate it. So once again, I will see you guys next time. Peace.